Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be continuing the Road to Rank 1 series, and today we are going to be switching decks. No longer are we going to be on Britain Push. I've lost one too many games to ramp, and I'm also sick and tired of the 15-minute games, so we're getting off Brit Push, and we're switching on to a deck that's a little bit faster. Now, between playing Brit Push and playing this deck, I did actually play a lot of Soviet Push, and that has very different matchups. Because of the Great Patriotic War, you're able to win against decks that can heal a lot. And in fact, if decks are spending all their time healing, you're probably going to win because they're a very, very slow deck and they're not really actively killing you, and it will give you time to draw into your Great Patriotic War and kill them with the push combo. And honestly, the Soviet push was working great. The issue, again, was that it was really long games, and sometimes you would just lose to a deck that you had really no business losing to and get like a -20. So I have now switched on to a J-agro deck, and before getting into games, I want to show you a little bit of the deck. Now, a lot of this is pretty standard. Now, in the last couple of months, you've seen this slower, more mid-range J-agro style. Especially my version of J-agro had like the 2 Winter Regiments and the 2 Schützens and the 2 the Panzer Grenadiers on top of like Schieden. And then I switched out the Winter Regiments for Goshikins for a while. Now we are back to straight up fast J-agro. And a couple different changes that are different from the way I normally build J-agro. I took out 2 honorable deaths for 2 Out of the Mists, just because there was a lot of J-agro mirrors going around, and Out of the Mist is very, very good in J-agro mirrors. It's also pretty good against Frontline, pretty good against German Japan, which there's a lot of. Then I have 4 expansion. I've been on 4 expansion for a while in fast J-agro decks. And then we have 2 Naval Supply Run. I really like this. Naval Supply Run is... I think that a lot of people greed out on Naval Supply Run. Honestly, sometimes just playing Naval Supply Run on turn 3 is really good, especially against Britain. If you have like 2 or 3 1 health units on the board on turn 3, just play Naval Supply Run. You know, they're one answer to supply shortage, and that keeps them alive for an entire another turn, and that's going to mean you're essentially attacking twice with all those units, which is insane. Then, of course, I have the 2 Recon and 2 Scouting Party. Honestly, like, if I were to cut one card from this deck, it would probably be a single copy of Scouting Party, just because there's a lot of draw in the deck, and Scouting Party is a little slow compared to the speed of the rest of the deck. However, I really like Scouting Party with Naval Supply Run. Getting 3/3 Recons are really, really nice. I swapped out an Enigma for a Take Liberty. Again, just the meta is faster, and this deck is faster. So I think it can better use Take Liberty, and I think Enigma is going to find it harder to draw cards in a lot of matchups. Also, there's a decent amount of push OTK going around, and Take Liberty is hilarious against push OTK because you just reset their hand. And other cards that I considered putting in this deck, and still do consider putting in this deck, I think the foremost option would be the Nate. And this is a card I've basically never played before in J-agro. But honestly, it's the fact that this deck misses anything to play on 2. With cutting Akitas, like, you know, going back like 2 years now or whatever. But without running Akita in this deck, it's sort of missing a 2-drop. And, you know, I could put in Akita. But what I like about Nate is the fact that it generates a unit to your hand afterwards. And it's a 13-unit pool, which is a lot. But 6 of those 13 units you run in your deck. So, essentially, half the time it's a draw a 1-cost unit from your deck, which is really good. And the other half of the time, you're probably not getting something terrible. Like, there's a lot of 1-drops that, like, are on the borderline of being playable. Like, the 34th Infantry is good. The Sakura Regiment is good. Getting a Sonya, depending on the board state, could be really good. It could be really bad if you're losing, but, you know, it could be really good. So, yeah, the Nate is definitely something I've considered. And then a notable exclusion from this deck that you might have noticed is I don't run On the Ascent. And this is, when On the Ascent came out, I was like, this card's going to be great. And then I put it in J-agro and was like, this card's insane. This card's amazing in J-agro. But since Winter War's come out and, like, you know, over the last, like, 4 or 5 months or however long it's been, On the Ascent has become less and less good in J-agro, I found. Because, one, people play around it now. A big part of On the Ascent in the beginning is people would just completely not play around it and dump like a board of 4 or 5 units all with the same attack. and then you just on the Ascent for massive value. That doesn't really happen nearly as often as it used to, because people just play around this card. And the other thing is, with my J-agro deck getting faster and faster and faster, it means I'm going to have a lot more units on the board, and I'm going to have a lot of low attack units on the board, so I essentially need to not have units on the board to be able to play on the Ascent. So it's like, in that way, it's sort of a comeback tool. And like, you know, being a comeback tool in J-agro is fine. It's just, I feel like, how often are you actually going to be able to come back? I feel like, you know, if you lose the board and then play on the Ascent against any type of control deck, you're probably still going to lose. The one thing that I think could work is against J-agro and situationally Frontline, depending on how many units you can take out. On the Ascent can be really good, or on the Ascent on turn 3, again, like if you have a slow start, you can on the Ascent on turn 3 sometimes and take out like both their units or something like that, and that can be really good. But I feel like there's just too many situations where it is a dead card in your hand, in a situation where you have board control, but it's not a one game yet, and you would rather just have a card that can continue to put on the pressure, rather than a card that is going to sit in your hand and do nothing until you lose the board, and then you play on the Ascent, and then try to get the board back again. Why not just not lose it in the first place? So again, you know, if you play on the Ascent in J-agro, I'm not saying it's a bad card in J-agro, I know most people run it. It's just, I'm experimenting not running on the Ascent, and since I have been playing this deck I was playing this deck last month, or a very similar version without on the Ascent. Haven't really missed the card too much. So yeah, we'll have to see whether or not I am wrong for doing this, but with that all being said about the deck, I played this deck a lot yesterday, and got up to second, and now third, because I was passed overnight. But we got up to 2873, and the J-agro deck felt pretty good. You know, I started the day at 2820, and then proceeded to spend the entire rest of the day below 2820, in the 2750 to 2800 range. And then, you know, right at the end of the day, I was able to climb back up to 2873, which is my highest elo for the month so far. And the goal for today is maybe just hit 2900. Definitely try to get back into second. And I mean, of course, road to rank 1, the end goal will be to get to first. But, you know, we'll take it one game at a time. And with that, let's get into the games.
What a performance there by J-King.
J-King, full plot armor.
J-King is pushing himself into the ranks of the legend. J-King is our world champion! J-King 7! What? The back-to-back Kards world champion!
Alright, we have our first game of the day. I did accidentally just queue into the AI previously. I accidentally queued into training mode because I was testing something. And that was what it was selected on. But here we start first actual game against Soviets. I kind of like keeping Panzergren if I'm not against something that's going to be super fast, or if I am against something with super fast and I have like a 1-drop. I'm not going to be playing Yokosuka on turn 1, because of Sickle. Unless we get like another Blitz 1-drop maybe. Which we do. In that case, I am going to play Yokosuka on turn 1, because if he sickles this, that's probably going to mess up his curve, and if he can't sickle this, then we're quite happy. Okay, no sickle. The question is, how much do I want to commit to the board? I probably want to get up a 1-drop. I think, over the 22nd, just so I can start taking away health at this Bryansk. Sure. I mean, I'll probably just push and hit, right? The fact that he played that not guided is insane. Like, I can't kill it, but I can spend 0 credits to make him have wasted 3 credits on the previous turn. Okay, kills Yokosuka, which is an odd choice to me. And we are going to overdraw a card, but that's fine. Overdrawing really doesn't matter, and it especially does not matter in J-agro. I suppose it was probably worth just playing a Type 94 instead of pushing up Radiant Brigade. We have a lot of options here. It's Germany. Soviet Germany. Control. Possibly discard. Might have a Sky Barons for this, but if we don't play it now, then he will almost certainly have an Annihilation for this. Could drop the Audacity and Type 94, which is what I'm leaning towards. It also sets up Panzergren in a couple turns. And is slightly less horrible against Sky Barons. So the question is he running the discard package or not? Because I've actually seen a weirdly large amount of Soviet Germany. Some with discard, some without. Some basically just running Schutzens and Panzer Grenadiers. 52k. Well, that's pretty good. Okay, I mean, this is probably just going to get annihilated, but that's fine. He annihilates this, we probably just play Panzer Grenadiers. Panzer H, he's looking. So he almost certainly runs Panzergren, so that's 6 German cards we like know about, quote unquote. Okay, so this is 4, 5, 6. Probably can push the 22nd at this point. And I'm getting down. Signal. So if he finds the Annihilation, he can annihilate, trade, he goes down to 5. And as long as it doesn't discard Panzergren. No, he's actually dead because Shiden will be enough. So yeah, if he does Annihilation trade, we just have lethal. He's super dead to Winter Offensive. He could Depths of Winter. He would stay alive with Depths of Winter. If he starts with a Sickle, things are looking very good, because it's immediately dropping himself to 5. And he's going to have a lot of difficulty healing on demand. Okay, looks like he wants to Sickle, maybe a 39th. Okay, picks up the 39th, that's pretty good. It means Dragon Slayer is sticking, which means he's probably dead. He's gonna hammer the... Okay. Well, GG. Yeah, games are so much faster on J-agro. It's amazing not having to, like, wait until... Oh my god, we got a ton of points for that. Wow, +9. Okay, we'll take that. And we'll get to the next game. Alrighty, next game is against US. I'm gonna keep Raiden Grade, gonna keep Out of the Mist. We're just gonna assume it's Frontline for now. I don't love keeping Signal here. Because I feel like if it becomes an issue, they're just gonna M10 it. Like, it's a really easy M10 target. And it's also just, I'm going first without guaranteed card draw. So I'm not sure I really want to keep a unit that's not going to be able to contest board or draw me cards. I feel like most people would probably just immediately keep Signal Regiment, because it's Signal Regiment. It costs 1, and it's like a central card of the deck. But yeah, it is not always correct to keep Signal Regiment. So it is Frontline, And honestly, this is pretty brutal for him, because he can't... He probably can't kill this in one shot this turn. Oh, is he really going for it now? Oh my goodness. Oh, and it draws us into the Audacity. I really want to play Audacity here. I feel like it gets punished by Pathfinders much harder than just playing the Raiding Brigade. And I feel like Raiding Brigade is not going to have... Unless it's Skytrain. Specifically Skytrain. Skytrain's like the only thing that it would be better to... Yep. I mean, I can still kill Skytrain. In fact, I can actually take Skytrain. Does give him a free trade on the Type 94. But that's kind of annoying. Playing when Pathfinders get hit by the Skytrain. This would also be a pretty good spot for him to have Pathfinders in still. I mean, honestly, if taking the free trade on the Type 94 does mess up his curve, because he wants to be playing a 4-drop, like a Panzergrenadier or a 5th Rangers. Well, I'm not going to say no to a free Panzergren. Man, it just playing Japan and drawing your elites early just feels like you're cheating. Also, Out of the Mist in some matchups is just absolutely savage. And even again in some matchups, very often I end up Panzergren, or I end up playing Out of the Mist on my own Panzergren, just to recycle the deployment effect. So I probably want to get Panzergren down. I don't want to play Skytrain because strap bombing. And I would like to take the Frontline. With 2 scouting parties, or like our hand's a little bit heavy compared to like a typical J-agro hand, so I think I'm just going to try to strangle him out of the game. Like control the front line rather than try to rush him down. Unless he does like a super slow play here, like strap bombing. If he does strap bombing, I'll probably just do Skytrain and hit him in the face for 5 with a 35T. Okay. Another 5th Rangers. Red Devils. So this is going there. That's 2, 4, or 1, 3, 4, 6, 7. Does leave a 1/1 Yokosuka. Honestly, I'm not going to push up this turn. Like, if he strap bombings me, it means I keep a 5-4 in the front line. And, like, you know what? Is he going to Hellcat Greyhound me? Oh, if he has a Hellcat on top of this, that's pretty bad. Buddy did not think that one through. Okay. Blitzkrieg's a pretty rough card for him to have. Like, as in rough for him. Well, don't really want to commit anything else to board, because Scouting Party only gets me 1 recon, Skytrain doesn't get me the random US unit, and if he has strap bombing, it kills everything regardless. There's the Pathfinders. If he has another Blitz unit, he can get a value trade in here on the Yokosuka. Or is he going to have to sack it? If you have Shermans in hand, that's the situation where you play Sherman. And we draw a natural Panzer gun. So both of these are getting up. Getting down a Type 93 against the US is really good because they have no spot removal. Like, Pathfinders is sort of the only thing that acts as spot removal. Generally speaking, you know, some people might run like a Through the Breach or two. It's the 3rd, 5th Rangers. Trades out with a Panzer gun. There's the Sherman he should have played last turn. And he is incredibly dead. Yeah, I don't even need to play the Skytrain for the extra buff. Hit him with the GG. And that's what J-agro does. It just rolls over your opponent. Again, if you want to play this deck list is going to be in the description. Yeah, they got less points for that one. But 14 points off 2,900, so let's keep going. Alrighty, we have a Germany. And I might just full keep against Germany, keeping 3 cards. Out of the Mist is very good if it's Japan. And if it's not Japan, then it's fine. AA gun is just very good against Germany. Cavalry is very good against Germany. And Signal Regiment is much better against Germany than it is against US, because German midrange typically does not have a way to get rid of it. And we are going to play it on turn 1, because if he has a 1-cost blitzer, I don't want it trading with cavalry. I would rather take it with Out of the Mist. And there it is. Thank you very much for the Type 94. Now the question is, do I think they can remove this? Because if I think they can remove this, I should actually just play cavalry. I know this gives our opponent more info on our hand, but I think I would actually just rather get down cavalry. I think having the blitz tank is going to be more useful. Like, in case, you know, he gets down an autocannon in a couple turns. There it is. Alright. Okay, we have a game going. I mean, his guy is a 1-1 because of the salvage. So I could just trade and go face. I feel like Raiden Brigade's going to be slightly better than this on average. It does mean if you place autocannon, I can't immediately kill it in hand. He's going to have his own 35D. Okay. I mean, the difference between all of this back and forth trading is I have a Signal Regiment and he doesn't. I'll just take the Frontline. He doesn't... Like, his 4 drops all have operation cost. He's not US, so he doesn't have 5th ranges. He has Schützens and Panzer guns. And very unlikely, but possibly, winter regiments. So right there we played around countermeasures, stranglehold, attack first, then play the lowest cost thing in case it's the more likely option of destroying something, and then last but not least play the AA gun. So he does take the Raiden Brigade. A Type 93 here would be great. This is also not bad. I mean, just killing the winter regiment's probably better. Because what, he's doing 4 credits to remove 2 units next turn? Maybe it was, because now he could remove AA gun, and then if he has a way to deal with Signal in the near future. Okay, now he's just going to trade. Okay, so we can drop him to 2. seems generally good. Well, his deck runs no healing. He can drop a fighter. Like, if he Jägerbombers the AA gun, he's alive. That'd be the number one way. Maybe if he runs the MEBF, the 3-cost pincer fighter. That plus, like, a hipper. Or that plus, like, a Type 94 and a 35T. That would probably be the best option. FW, but now you need 2 credits to remove my artillery. That's not going to be enough. Unless you just run combined arms. Yep. Alright. He got... Her hand was, like, completely dead. He got close to coming back in that game. But, alas. That was a pretty fun back and forth. Like, his hand was really, really good. Like, he had Type 94 Cavalry, out of the mist. Winter Regiment. Like, that's an insane hand against J-agro. It's just, my hand was also quite good. And then when you combine that with playing around the cards. Like, again, if I had gone for the turn 1 Cavalry instead of the turn 1 Signal Regiment, I probably would have got blown out in that game. At the very least, I would not have had the dominant board control, which then led to me being able to use the naval supply runs to get a win. Another just +4 for that. 11 points off 2,900. Let's get into the next one. Alright, another Germany. Once again, keeping out of the mist, keeping cavalry, keeping audacity. Raiding Brigade, I feel like, is less useful against Germany. Like, if they have Nakshub, it's great. If they have anything other than Nakshub, it can sometimes be a little awkward or a little slow to use. We are going to keep it, just because of fear of Nakshub. If he does turn 1 pass... Okay. Yeah, we went for the cavalry there, because, one, if he out of the mists it, it's less bad than if he out of the mists a Type 94, and if he doesn't out of the mist it, then we have the 35T. So this presumably also dies? Yeah. Alright. Well, hopefully he just plays an autocannon on curve. Well, it's mildly better than an autocannon in this very, very specific situation. I mean, we're just going to play this. He's presumably some sort of discard control deck. Probably just trade Yokosuka so I can develop the AA gun. I was thinking about taking that guy. Turns into a 3-cost 3/3 blitzer if he's my only unit, which is pretty good for salvage. But I'm sure there will be salvage targets in the future. My favorite thing is to double out of the mist a Heinkel. So you get 2 Heinkels, because out of the mist stacks on top of each other. I would love to get down Scouting Party, and it fits my curve better. Yeah, I'm just going to. He shouldn't really have a great way of... Oh, is he going to Panzergun trade into the 35T and just give us a free Panzergun? I would like a free Panzergun. And, well, we can only take 1 free Panzergun. Unfortunate. Gonna be 3rd Careless Talk? Nope. Alright, I can out of the mist my own Panzergun just to repeat the deployment effect. I probably won't do that immediately, just because I don't really have the credits to be doing something like that. Okay, well, I guess we don't have a Panzergun anymore. So this is happening, this is happening. Do we play the Type 94? He's presumably Britain ally. Like, we haven't seen an ally nation yet, but it is presumably Britain. Which means you might have cyber bombing, you might have supply shortage, you might have the Maelstrom. Panzer H is a very good start for us. Means he is looking. 35T combined arms to make it a 3-3, but then you can't trade out Yokosuka. Okay. I would love to Out of the Mist this, but that would require trading. Whereas instead I could bring him to 7 and we get the card draw anyways off 22nd Infantry. So that's happening. I think I would just rather hit him to 7. Like, these 20 seconds are almost certainly drawing. He might even still trade and give me it. Okay, second Panzergren. Maybe we just take the second Panzergren if he makes this trade again. Well, probably not, he's going to 35T and then only hit it for 1. Keeps the support line empty, which is a bold choice. I think we just take the Panzer H now. Do we play it, though? So this is coming out, and this is coming out, so that's 5. 6. Do I play both of these, or do I play this? I think I would rather play this, so we'll start with it. You know, try to look for our Panzergren, maybe our Shiden. Well, not that he has a Shiden. Expansion or naval supply run? Probably expansion, I think. No need to greed here. Unexpected resistance. Okay, well, that one was thoroughly unexpected. I guess we should have gone for the cavalry. Although even if we did, I can't even guarantee that I would have played cavalry first, because, you know, who's playing around unexpected resistance in Germany. How do you have the British slots for that, dude? That's really annoying. That heals him too and denies me a card draw. Ugh. Alright. What's he floating? Okay. Well. This is presumably a From the Deep, because he didn't push up his guy. Really? Is it a missing? It is a missing. Cool. Type 93 is lethal? Well. Okay, the unexpected resistance and missing were not cards I expected to see from this guy. He hasn't played any healing. He's played, what, 1 MI5, 1 Convoy, 1 Unexpected Resistance, 2nd Convoy. Like, surely he runs Glamour Boys, right? Surely. Although he has to make cuts to run Unexpected Resistance. But, like, surely you don't make a discard deck without healing or guard, right? 2nd Wolf Pack on Signal Regiment to discard Signal Regiment. He's still dead on board, and he has 3 credits. He's still dead on board. Alright. Nebelwerfer, that's a weird one. Okay, I'm going to check this guy's deck list using the totally fun and interactive deck copying feature. And we're going to look to see if he actually has Glamour Boys. Like, did he just get really unlucky and not find any Glamour Boys, or did he just lose the game on the deck building screen? No Glamour Boys. He's on 8 British cards. 2 Devil's Brigade, 1 Air Power, 2 Convoy, 2 MI5, 1 Unexpected Resistance. This guy lost the game on the deck building phase. It's a 1 of Annihilation. 2 Sky Barons. He's probably sitting on some Sky Barons with that whole game. But yeah, that guy gave us some points, shockingly. So we're at 2895, 5 points away from 2900. Let's get to the next game, and hopefully the last game of this video. Alrighty, 3rd Germany in a row. Honestly, I'm kind of fine keeping this whole hand. He full mulliganed. We'll probably start with Recon. Keeping expansion. Like, we're going 2nd. Do we need the card draw? And we're at higher risk of him just taking the front line the entire game and this just being a dead card. On the other hand, just being able to get this down on turn 2, turn 3 increases your options so much. And, like, he full mulliganed, which definitely makes it more likely that he's playing a ramp-based deck, like a Jer US, either mid-range or, like, all-in. Okay, we won't greed out and go for the Type 94. Like, I'm pretty sure his next turn is going to be War Machine, regardless. So we, like, maybe just missed out on damage. But, you know, like, if it was just an out of the mist, we would have gotten so blown out. Draws us to 7, we draw 8 naturally, so yeah, we'll just do this. He could Devil's Brigade hit it to make me overdraw 1. The reason I didn't go for the Type 94 is because Devil's Brigade would be quite good against us. Alright, do we find the Audacity? Are we good players? No. It's quite difficult to not get farmed by Devil's Brigade. I think we'll just start trying to put pressure on him. He probably has 0 healing in his deck. Fifth range is on board, somewhat annoying, but okay, duresses it to a 2-1 because of the Type 93. You going to go face there? Okay. Fallschirm Jaeger, let's go. That's a spicy one. Okay, so we could just sort of trade out the board. Do I want to save this for Panzergren there? I could just Scouting Party, take it a bit slower. Feels like a bit too slow, maybe. Although he has 2 1 health guys. And our hand's really heavy. I would love to pick up a couple more 1-drops. 22nd infantry is fine. It's sort of the FW here. That would be quite good for him. Like, it wouldn't actually be that insanely good because, like, what, he can't really push 5th Rangers. And the 35T does 2 damage. Panzergun would be probably better for him. Schützen. Sure. Okay, well, this lets us kill Schützen. And we'll even nab that 35T while we're at it. Deny him the front line. Also, 35T is an alright unit to salvage. Like a 2-cost 1-1 blitz is fine. It's better than a lot of the other salvage options. So what's in his hand? Is it Comet? Is it War Machine? It is War Machine. So I could 35T into this. So I think the question is, do we just get the Panzergren down now? And do Panzergren into this recon? Or do we do 35T into this and get the AA gun down and recon? Probably just go for the Panzergren. This feels generally safer. Both plays result in him being able to draw again with the 22nd. There was also 35T into it, the second 35T push phase. But that seemed mildly worse. Okay, making room. Could do, what is that, 5. Alternatively, I do this, that's 3, 4, and then I actually get to go face. Or I could do, keep a 4-2 on board, 5-2 on board. Want to go face for 3 or keep a 5-2 on board? Probably want to go face for 3. Draw last. Alright, well, short of a miracle, this guy's pretty dead. Like, even if he has a Leopold, it's kind of fine. Sudden strike on... Oh, not signal. I feel like sudden strike in the signal. Okay, 22nd, fair enough. Gives you the card draw. Is there lethal here with the Yokosuka? Yes. Alright. Good game, dude. Rough match for him. But yeah. And J-agro, absolutely crushing ladder, apparently. I mean, it was doing well yesterday, but not this well. And with that, we have hit 2,900, which was the goal for this video. Just 100 points short now of rank 1. And yeah, probably going to continue some off ladder. If I get close to the 3,000 mark, I will sure to, or off ladder, continue some off camera. And if I get close to 3,000, I will crack open OBS and record another one. But that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching if you made it all the way through. And a special thank you to everybody who has donated to me over the last few months. I've had the link to my Ko-fi page. Ko-fi, I don't know, in the description. So, you know, if you want to and are able to donate, feel free. And thank you very much to everyone who has done it already. I realize that I haven't really shouted you guys out in a video before, but thank you very much for everyone who has done that already. And I will catch all of you in the next one.